Hi, Mark here from the Tangibound Podcast Network and host of the flagship show, the Tangibound Podcast. Did you know that we over at Tangibound are always looking for amazing podcasts to promote? And did you also know that we are also proud nerds and geeks of everything from movies, music, gaming, TV shows, and comic books to wrestling, MMA, soccer, and football? Whatever you can nerd or geek out about, we've got it. And if you're interested, we can help you find it. And if you're a show looking for a place to call home, we've got you covered. Side effects may include upset stomach, dizziness, tumors, shakes, and in some rare cases, death from excessive laughter. Though to be fair, it's only sometimes. Other side effects may include diarrhea, gallstones, heart palpitations, and strong desire for cookies on the dark side. Talk to your doctor and visit TangiboundNetwork.com and see if Tangibound Network is right for you.
This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
We'll get you back to your regularly scheduled podcast in just a minute, but we wanted to introduce ourselves. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake on this highly produced advertisement.
That's right. It's the History of Bad Ideas, a.k.a. Hobie. You can find us on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast and on Facebook at the History of Bad Ideas. But if you like a podcast roundtable with 3 to 5 guests, usually every week, depending on sick leave, talking about all things geek, including movies,
TV.
I ain't getting paid for this shit.
Blake bitching about something and ranting, and comic books and anything else that we can think of. We have a top 5 list every week, along with a box office news, and somehow we have listeners. So they send us some feedback we answer every week. You can find us on iTunes,
Stitcher,
Facebook,
Spotify,
and any good podcast app, because if you can't find us on that podcast app, it's not a good podcast app.
Damn straight. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Welcome to the podcast from Temperance Town, the sexiest podcast of world renowned. Tony grows a beard to hide his chin, swaps it with Earl so it glistens. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Download the pod, you won't get enough of these dapper chaps talking deadly fluff. In Hobo Gulch they run a homeless mission, clanging and banging with the pentagram of kittens. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. They enjoy their whiskey and local craft beer. By Odin's unkempt pubis we give a cheer. Tony's a raccoon when he's booziest. Don't be a savage, be an enthusiast. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. On the frozen tundra they call it a lock. Tony likes to masturbate in a sock. Brian pisses rocks cause it feels so great. I still don't know who the fuck is Tate. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. The boys will let you know when there's a due to male pattern baldness, they don't wear curlers. Stay salty, people, that's their closing line. And don't forget, have a beer, you'll be fine. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty
Hey enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Language, episode 414.
Sexiest podcast on the network.
Yep.
Running.
Sitting. Crawling.
Yes.
Being very sedentary. Yep.
Indeed.
Right. We just lounge sexily.
Lounge. I love it.
Yeah.
Lounge. Sexily.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you might find it shocking, Brian. My local neighborhood it sounds like, Nam in the late 60s right now.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked at all because, I've mentioned in the past that usually the Wednesday before the weekend it starts up here, but they got a quick jump on it because, like Detroit and a couple other cities did their fireworks displays last weekend.
Right, yeah.
So people around here were shooting off their fireworks like Wednesday of last week, and then it wasn't every night, but it was, like every other night up to Tuesday of this week, and then it's been every night this week, including last night. It was pouring rain, and I still heard fireworks going off.
Yeah, I was actually driving Leah home because I had a cookout.
Yeah.
And it was pouring rain, like you were saying, and you could see them, like the big mortars going off. Around. It was like, who are these? Let's talk 4th of July real quick.
It's like, look, dude, I spent $500. I'm going to get my $500 out of this.
That's and that's actually probably why a lot of them are going off tonight, because a lot of people probably wrap their shows up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll probably still hear them through the rest of the weekend here.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's always like that. But it's like, it sounds extra aggressive right now out there.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here too, I should say. Yeah.
But I mean, well, like I said, had a little 4th of July cookout there yesterday, Brian.
Yep.
And
which I'm sad I missed.
Yeah, and you missed out on some burgers and dogs. I was honestly hoping people would show up and help me drink my beer because I've got too much beer.
Yeah.
It's like it's at the point I got to start getting rid of it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against just showing up and helping you drink beer. I mean,
we might have to figure that out.
Or you come over here and we drink some beers, whatever happens. Yeah.
But but everyone that came brought their own beer.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And I was like, because and to be fair, the people that showed up don't drink the beer like I drink.
Oh, okay.
So I get it.
Right. See, what you were saying is you needed me and T to show up.
Yeah.
And
so
I
invited Mike too, and I got the best response from Mike. He's like, I got to work tomorrow, and I'm just not responsible enough to show up and have one or two.
You gotta know your strengths and weaknesses. I mean,
So it's like, he's like, we'll hang out soon. I'm like, all right, man.
Yeah, I mean.
But yeah, but I went to, right up the road, I went to a fireworks store. Because I'm like, we'll get some sparklers and some little, dopey, like, things that'll just shoot sparks in your at the end of your driveway or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing crazy.
Right.
I can't believe how much money people drop on fireworks.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it?
I mean, I saw how much some of that stuff costs, like on the rack, and there's people walking around with full shopping carts of shit.
Yeah.
Like the kind of, like, I got to go get food for the month. That's how full these things were.
Yeah. Dad, this cereal hurts my mouth. It's like those Snap Pops.
Snap Pop.
I'm just pouring them in a box of Sugar Pops or whatever.
I've never been to a fireworks store on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I've not done that either.
And it was busy.
Mm-hmm.
And I expected to be busy, but I did not expect to see the amount of money people had to be spending.
Yeah. I only am privy to that because I know people who, like right up across the border here in Michigan. Well, we're in Michigan, but you know what I'm saying, across the Ohio border. Right up here, there's been a variety of fireworks stores that have been within kind of one family, and they're all the kids of a woman my mom used to be friends with. So I've known about, fireworks, and they've told us a lot of stuff over the years. So it's got
a little inside sports there, huh?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, gotcha. It doesn't. I mean, it used to get kind of like I used to go in there and they'd give me, like here's some sparklers and Snap Pops and stuff because they have like a bunch of that shit,
I'm sure that stuff is like pennies on a dollar.
Exactly. So they were like, yeah, here, but yeah. But yeah, I know they still renew, like one of the guys I know right up here, he does not need the money, but he renews his license and shit every year because it makes so much money, and all he's got to do is just stock it.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no work after that. Like, that's it. You stock it, you sell it, and then after the 4th of July, it dwindles a little bit, and then you're like, okay, well, we're done for the year, basically.
Yeah, that seems insane to me.
Yeah, I think they open usually around June, somewhere in June. Because, people...
Right, like Memorial Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
People like fireworks for Memorial Day.
Sure. And just, summer in general, so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's nuts, though.
that stuff, I mean, I know it's all made in China, basically.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how cheap that shit is, probably.
Oh, I'm sure it's nothing, yeah.
It's all cardboard, paper, and gunpowder, basically.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it is nuts, though, like you said, when you go and you just see people, like, filling their trunk with fireworks.
Yeah, right?
And you're like, holy shit, and it's like, different times be like, oh, do you put something on for, like, a community or something? Oh, nah, just me and a couple neighbors.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane.
Yeah. I heard a guy talking a few weeks ago. I don't remember where I was at. I heard him talking with somebody else, and they were talking about fireworks, and the one guy goes, yeah, he's like, I just got my tax returns, so, he's like, I'm going to go load up soon. And I just laughed, because it's like, I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat, but, it's like, just, most people, you get your tax returns, and usually it's like, hey, it's time for a new TV, or maybe we'll take a little vacation, or new PlayStation or something.
Like, nah, I'm putting on a sick show.
I'm going to go spend $500 on fireworks. I'm literally going to go just blow my money up.
Right, exactly.
But whatever, if that's what you're into.
I'm trying to find out how much, like it costs to make them.
Oh, God, I'm sure
versus the markup.
Nothing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just because I'm curious. It's something I've never looked for.
Yeah, I wonder
Jesus Christ.
I wonder how many accidents happen in the factory. Like how many kids are losing fingers trying to put those things together.
I mean, I've seen some of those videos where it's like fire in a fireworks factory.
That's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really colorful and exciting, but insane.
Yeah, colorful and exciting until you're like, oh, I hope there's no people in there.
Oh, here you go. So generally the basic markup on fireworks is 200 to 300%.
Oh, that's not bad. That's almost giving them away.
Yeah, right. Wow. The only thing I could say is the fireworks store we went to, like I walked in and you just hear like boom and crackles and shit, and I'm like, this is the worst soundtrack. Let's get some like, in America or something going on.
Yeah.
Until I rounded one corner and they just had a giant flat screen.
Uh-huh.
And it was just video of like, here's what this firework is. I was like, that is actually really smart.
That's actually a smart move, yeah.
Yeah, because I've always, like, you look at, I was looking at all kinds of shit. Like, they had one that was just called Poking the Bear. and like, the image on the tube was like this bear, like his ass was getting poked,
Well, I mean, yeah.
And I was like, well, I wonder what this looks like.
It's like,
yeah. Brilliant. That little thing is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I'll give that place.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty smart to show off what they do. Because you're right. You go in and you see all these names and you're like, what does this do? And usually someone there can tell you, but it's not the same as just being able to see what it's supposed to do,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, hopefully everyone listening, still has all their fingers and toes and other appendages after blowing shit up. So
do you know what the center of attention for the cookout was, Brian?
No.
The old pellet grill. Yeah, people thought I was from like the future when I fired that thing up or something.
Right.
Yeah. I was fielding questions from multiple people about it. Like, how does it work? Where's the heat at? Is it gas? Is it electric? It's like, no, it's wood pellet. Here's the pellet. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
I could have started, if I was a salesman, I probably could have had like 3 sales.
Yeah. Damn it.
Oh, no.
Have to tell a place about that, Just be like, hey, give me some, brochures or something. I can write my name on, then if you get a sale, I get a cut,
Right.
Seems fair.
Although I have to say, the more I'm using the pellet grill, I realize that it's a great smoker. Mm-hmm. It's an okay grill.
Interesting. I was wondering about that because, how it is most things that claim they do more than one thing don't generally do any one of those things amazing.
Right.
They usually will do everything okay, or like you were just saying, like they'll do one thing really well and then everything else it's like, Like
for making smoked treats on there, it's great.
Yeah.
Low and slow and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And But yeah, because I guess it was just burgers and hot dogs, and I was like, it's got hot spots on it, so some burgers cook way quicker than other ones. And
yeah, and you can't really control that.
I'm missing my charcoal grill when I was doing that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would assume you can't control the pellets the way you could control your charcoal.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
it's not the same.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't not think about that. It makes sense though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Hey,
you know,
whatever.
little half-cooked burger never hurt nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Who doesn't love a nice half-raw hot dog? You know?
For sure.
Delicious.
Well, they're pre-cooked from the factory. It's perfect.
Right. Yeah. And the parts that go in there don't go bad anyway, so it's fine.
No, I don't even know what they are, but I'm sure they're fine.
Right. Sawdust, some Band-Aids, I don't know what else is in there. Yeah.
Bomb some guy's boot.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Why's my hot dog say Doc Martin on it?
That's who made your hot dog. It's a stamp of approval.
So is it vegan? I'm really confused now.
I'm so confused.
Oh man. Yeah. Ooh.
But yeah, I had to go the old cookout. I mean, yeah, it was a nice little event. It was the first time like Michelle's really had people over to her spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good little shindig.
Well, that's cool.
I just wish people would have drank more beer.
Yeah, that's so weird, isn't it? It's you just think that if you're like, hey, I have all this beer, generally the complaint would be, Jesus, Pete, nobody brought any beer, like everyone drank all the beer, But although in fairness, if I'm going to a cookout and I know like stuff's being provided, like hamburgers, hot dogs, whatever, I almost always am going to bring something to drink, even if it's not for me necessarily,
Well, like her parents showed up with tables and all kinds of shit, all kinds of food.
Nice.
And then, he's like, Dad's like, her dad's like, I gotta go get my Bud Light, 6-pack of Bud Light. And I'm like, all right, well, red cooler's got ice and beer in it, just add it to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like her cousin showed up with, her husband, and he brought a 6-pack of Corona. And then like my sister and Peanut showed up, and I'm like, hey, you need a beer, man? He's like, nah, I got some in my car. We got another party we're going to after this. I'm like, oh. Okay.
Should have been like, we'll save that for that party. Drink some of that.
Like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, that was my whole thing. I'm like, all right, I can finally start to get rid of some of these beers.
Right. Just be like, okay,
I did.
Who wants
some?
My
face.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, who wants some leftovers? You're just handing out bags with beer in it.
Yeah, right.
Delicious.
And of course, I bought another 4-pack of beer yesterday.
Sure.
Because, I had to go buy ice, and I was like, well, let me look at the cooler. And they had Mas Agave, that Founder's barrel-aged.
Right.
I haven't had yet.
Nice.
Which, by the way, it's a sour, but it's very delicious.
All right.
Is that one aged in tequila barrels?
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
It's limey and sour and delicious.
All right.
Big fan. Really good. It's not like like their bourbon barrel ones are kind of like, they almost feel heavy.
Yeah.
This is like refreshing.
Well, I guess it makes sense, right? I mean, time of year, the beer release and everything. Beers that come out this year are supposed to be a little juicy and refreshing and what have you.
It's quite nice.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Anywho. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I know you were half dead yesterday, so I was there for it.
You know what makes a day when you have a horrible migraine even better?
Artillery shells.
Yeah. Yep.
I would assume.
Oh man, it was terrible. Yeah. And it's weird because I hadn't, like, my headaches have kind of lessened over the last few days, but then yesterday and most of yesterday and part of today just kicked me right in the arse. Although I am wondering the last couple days if it might be because my doctor cut my Wellbutrin in half. So maybe it's some sort of a kind of, for lack of a better term, like a withdrawal situation.
Oh, maybe.
You know, so, cause I've also been like I've been able to just sleep and not just for a few hours. Like I woke up today at like 2:30 in the afternoon and was like, I'm still kind of tired. I'm gonna lay back down. And I'm thinking, or yesterday, I mean, even with the headache, and I was like, I'll lay down for a little longer. I wake up and I'm like, whatever it was I texted you is about when I woke up. So was that like 8 o'clock, 7:30, something like that?
Yeah, it was like 7:30. It was pretty late.
I was like, whoa, man, I need to get up. So, yeah, and I kind of think that it might be my body adjusting to, shifting back. The upside is when I'm up and around, I don't feel like I have less energy, which is good, because the reason I was put on that Wellbutrin was to help get my energy level up. So I think the testosterone I'm on kind of has replaced that.
Fair enough.
So I'm hoping. So the next step is I'm about as low as I can go on it. So the next step I believe is off. So
nice.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Things stay all right, and then I can just go back
and all that. Huh?
Yeah, I just go back, because my doctor even was like, because I forgot what dose I was on, but he's like, I still don't feel comfortable just completely taking you off of it. He's like, so let's go half, and then I'll take you off of it. So, like, cool.
Cool beans, Doc.
Yep. One less drug.
Right.
One less mind-fucking drug.
Yeah, there you go. That seems good to be weaning off of those, eh?
Yeah, right?
Right?
Yeah. Especially if it's, unneeded. So.
Yeah, for sure.
At the time I started it, I totally needed it. But, and this is something I'm going to talk about on the Crazy Life a little bit too, because I think a lot of people think once they're on a medicine for any sort of mental illness, anxiety, depression, whatever it is you're on, I think a lot of people think you're just on that forever.
Right.
And sometimes
this is my life now.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't need it forever. Sometimes you do. Again, that's why you talk with your doctor and everything. But and also there's times where you might need, to up the dose a little bit because, seasonal depression or whatever. So, right. I just, I'm hoping. I wish doctors would tell people a little more about this, because I've talked with a variety of people and their doctors have never mentioned it to them. That,
really?
Hey,
that
maybe, maybe down the road, we'll see where you're at, kind of a thing. Because like me, when I first started, I wasn't in therapy,
Right.
Then I've gone through therapy a whole bunch. I've learned a lot of tools and techniques to help me with different things, as well as being on this medicine, and like the Wellbutrin, after going on the testosterone, it's like, well, I don't seem to need it as much now, so get it going.
You're out.
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that was basically my fourth. Honestly, I got up, I cooked a hot dog, and
hot dogs are good.
Yeah, it was all right.
Like a good hot dog.
I'm not the biggest fan of hot dogs, but
no,
I never really have been. But it's fine, It got the job done.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I was hungry. I wasn't afterwards, so success.
That seems legit.
Right. Oh man. So what else you been up to?
Well, last weekend was they brought those the F1 boat racing back to Toledo.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dad and I used to go to that all the time.
Yeah, I've been there. I think I went with you guys at least once.
Probably. Yeah. So I took a little journey downtown to go see it, but man, it was so brutally hot.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And it's like, as much as Toledo's like, hey, it's an up and coming city, everyone's moving here, there's still a lot of people are smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, there is.
And the heat and the cigarettes weren't really meshing too well for Michelle. So she was like, I think I'm going to die. So we're like, all right, because we're sitting right on the edge of the river. Because we walked up right as like they were done. And then we sat there for like an hour and a half waiting for them to start again.
Oh, wow.
It was basically like as soon as we started, like we were literally surrounded by people smoking, and we just got up and left.
Wow. All right.
So I'm like, well, let's go get like a lemonade, something to drink, something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I could tell she was like fading.
Yeah.
Go up to the old, lemonade stand. They got the pneumatic pump, so it like muddles the lemon into the sugar, and then they, I'm like, hey, can I get a strawberry lemonade? Not a strawberry. I'm like, fine, just a regular lemonade. That's fine. And then she's trying to make it, and the thing's not working. And then the guy's back there wrenching on her compressor, and then he's like, sorry, everyone, we're closed down. Compressors. So we stood there for like 10 minutes waiting for his for no reason.
It's so sad.
No reason.
It's so sad that literally, like, they don't have a backup plan for this. Like,
they don't have something they can do it with by hand.
yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It's like,
You
why
know?
wouldn't you have like some sort of a hand musher, meddler, whatever you want to call it, and so you could at least do some. That's sad.
You would think.
That's too
right?
bad. Yeah. I was actually just saying the other day, do you know when you go to the fair and they have those lemon shake-ups?
Yeah.
They're basically lemonade, but they're kind of not, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I was just saying the other day to somebody, I was like, God, one of those sounds really good, but I really don't want to go to a fair just to get one, but where else would I get one?
It's true.
Right? You know, so.
There's got to be a recipe online for lemon shake-ups.
You know, there probably is. I'm just a lazy man, Tony.
That's fair. I understand.
In fact, I'm going to look right now while you're talking.
Yeah, go ahead. But then we ended up, meeting up because randomly, Diana texted me and she's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And I was like, "Oh, watch these boat races and shit." So we ended up going over to her house and just hanging out and, tipping back some brews and bullshitting. It turned into a nice little evening, actually. It was nice.
Oh, nice. Well, that's awesome.
Right?
Oh my God, these are way easier than I thought they were.
All right.
Holy shit.
Lay it on me, Brian. What's in a lemon shake-up?
Well, I see two things here. So the first one says a quart of water, 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, 2 large lemons halved, and ice. And then, squeeze the juice from the lemon into a glass, add the lemon, fill with ice, top with simple syrup, which is weird. Well, yeah, the water and the granulated sugar become the simple syrup. Cover, and it says shake, 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 but I'm going to go with shuka, shuka, shuka.
Of course.
So yeah, there's your lemon shake-up. That's it.
Wow.
Stupid easy. Yeah. All right.
Stupid easy.
There is no reason that by next episode I shouldn't be sipping on one of these.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, so next day, you ever been to that Crosby Art Festival that they do at the Botanical Gardens here?
Not for a long time, but yes.
I've never been.
My mom used to love going to them, so we used to go every year.
Went. It's pretty badass. I like seeing people and what they can make and create, and that they can make a living doing it.
Yeah.
That gives me hope for humanity. Because there was a ton of people set up in booths there.
Good, I'm glad. Especially with the heat and everything.
A ton of people. And there was some really good, cool artwork. Metalwork, painting, everything. Everything you can imagine was there. It was all nice.
Yeah, I love going to those art fairs because there's always a handful of them that you're just like, but there's usually a lot of really neat stuff that you just don't see all the time.
That's exactly what it was.
I went to one a few years ago when me and Jen went to Florida. We went to one and it was like 1,000,000 degrees outside. Like, dude, I'm not like they closed the street off. For it. And it was cool. You're walking around. There was a lot of tents and stuff, but it was still hot and there wasn't a lot of a breeze, But as we're walking, there's like a 7-Eleven right there on one of the streets. And I went in and I was like, I went to the water section and I was like, where's the biggest bottle of water they have? And smashed it before I basically stepped outside. I almost had it gone.
Should have just hung out inside the beer cave or whatever.
I stayed in there for a couple minutes. I even told the guy working there. I was like, if you don't mind, I'm gonna stand in here a couple minutes. I'm like, because as you know, I don't do well with heat.
Yeah. Heat is like your kryptonite.
It really is my kryptonite. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So and then I bought another bottle of water to carry with me and walked out. But
that's a good call.
Man. Yeah, first mistake there was going to an outdoor art fair that's 1,000,000 degrees and not carrying water with you.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, the art fair was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What was not so amazing was, because they I guess, they expect a lot of people. So you had to park at the Myers on Central.
Yeah.
And then they were running shuttles.
Yeah, that's pretty typical. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was Meyer in the past. It was something else when I went, but
right,
same idea.
Bro, this driver driving this bus, like the first guy was fine, but it was a different guy that took us back to the car. And It was just us and 2 little old ladies in this big ass school bus.
Yeah.
And we're not on the road for 30 seconds, and he just starts talking to the old ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, I'm not real sure if I'm going to be having a job. You guys got to wish me luck, and I hope if you like how I drove you back to your cars, I hope you say a good word, and the ladies just, of course, I'm like, Michelle and I look at each other like, what is going on
What is
here? Going on here? And I'm not engaging. We should have said that in the back of the bus because we're cool, but we didn't.
Yeah. Be different if he was playing Bon Jovi and stuff while we were in there.
Yeah, if he was Tim Coconut Pops. Now we're talking.
I still can't believe you still remember that dude's name. That's great. I can never remember it. I remember him, but I can't remember his name.
I'll never forget that guy. We were more like middle of the bus. These old ladies are like right in the front because they could barely move. I'm surprised I could climb up onto the thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he starts telling the story about, he's like, we got to do those party buses every so often. People are just, they get crazy. They're drinking. And sometimes they're throwing up and always playing all this loud music. And he's like, it's just sometimes they just don't agree with everything that's going on. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he just keeps, and I'm trying to tune him out because I'm just looking like, I'm like, this guy's an idiot, but it's hard to tune him out when you hear him mention that he called somebody the N-word.
Whoa, what?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
And he's like, yeah, this woman got all upset at me because I said the N-word. I was like, I wasn't calling her the N-word. I was just, all the music they're playing was full of it, and I just don't appreciate it. And the lady,
I mean, I can understand his point, but that, you probably still shouldn't say it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he was just going on, and then he starts like, that's the problem with our country these days, is you just can't say what people get all up. Yeah. The dude just wants to shut the fuck up. Yeah. And I've driven party buses. I've been in that man's shoes. You know what happens when people get drunk and annoy me?
You ignore them.
I put the little divider up and I ignore them.
Right.
Yeah.
And
not to mention, these are conversations you have with your coworkers, not with people you're driving.
Yeah, this is definitely not a customer conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, no one wants to hear you. And obviously he didn't say the word, but he said the N-word.
Yeah.
That should never come up at all, though, bro.
That's accurate. That is accurate. Yeah. Even to the point that, you remember when we got into that one Uber and it was like a Suburban or something like that, real nice ride? There's an African American gentleman driving, and he had old school hip hop, but not old school. He had the Tupac era hip hop on.
Yeah, 90s.
Yeah,
90s hip hop.
So there's still a gratuitous amount of N-word dropping, and all of us petite in the car are white. Him, of course. So. Of course, we're all just sitting on our hands because, we know what's appropriate and what have you. And, and he even, I don't think, because I know, T's not a fan of using that word. And,
right.
I don't think that guy was either, because I noticed, as he's rapping along with the songs, he stopped anytime they hit that point. It's even that, you know what I mean? It's I don't know if that was done because he just doesn't like that word, or if he did that because he's like, you know what, I don't want to make these crackers uncomfortable.
Yeah, I got a whole package of saltines back here.
Yeah, he did. But whatever his reason, it was again, that's, if you're going to look at it from a, professionalism standpoint, that's the move right there, is to let's just not bring this into the conversation, essentially.
It's the old shut your goddamn pie hole move.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but the whole, you can't even say what you want in this country. I'm sorry, but when what you want to say is racially insensitive or bigoted, sorry. I'm going to side with the way things are,
Yeah, I mean...
It's not like it used to be, the last time it was okay for white people to say that word was a long time ago.
Yes.
At least up in this part of the country.
I just was I don't know. I was blown away by the whole situation.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And just the fact that it's not like he was, at the art show and he's sitting in his seat with a brand new, yard sculpture talking to these people. He was driving the bus. And he was terrible at it too. It kept vroom, 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 vroom,
Yeah.
It's this guy sucks at life. I hope he doesn't have a job.
Yeah. Removing all this kind of stuff. I do understand it though, because there is that group of people who really feel lost right now. you know, with all the gender fluidity and being woke and all these other things, these people are kind of like, this isn't how I was raised. This isn't what I'm used to, you know,
right.
Not to really make light of it, but, you know, so I get it that a lot of these people are kind of afraid of, like, well, if I just keep being who I am, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to this and this and that. But it's like, that's where, you know, you start paying attention to what's going on and start making changes within yourself to, you know,
exactly.
Just, you know, maybe don't drop the N-bomb when you have customers.
Don't be a crotchety old man.
Just, you know, wait till there's nobody in the vehicle if you really need to say it or something. But that's not okay.
Yeah, go online and vent anonymously like everyone else
right,
does.
Yeah, get on Xbox or YouTube. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Reddit, yeah.
Anything. Not to your customers.
Right. Did he say, out of curiosity, did he say the woman he said it to, was she African American?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That takes some cojones.
That's why the whole thing blew my mind.
Honestly, he's lucky he does have a job.
Well, he probably doesn't, honestly.
Yeah,
you know?
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, that was what, Sunday? Yeah, that was Sunday during the day, so it was probably a Friday night, Saturday night situation he went through, you know?
Oof.
Geez, wish me luck. I'm probably not going to have a job. Well, you probably shouldn't if that's how you think you should conduct this. This is customer service. You're not just driving, you know, you're not just an automaton up there. It is customer service.
Right, and like I said, it's not like that word 6 months ago was okay to say. You know, it's It reminds.
I find it shocking is I drove one party around Christmas time, and they all got plowed, like super plowed, yelling. They kept whirling down the window and like asking me dumbass questions and playing the worst music I've ever heard in my life. You know, that old pop country shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm taking them back home and going into their like area, there's a roundabout and they yelled for me to go through the roundabout a few times. And I did. Because customers, as much as I wanted to like dump them on the cornfield.
That's what you were hoping, get going fast enough and just, so you're on two wheels and they fall out. Yeah.
As customer service. So you know what? I got some tips because I could hear them in the back going, woo!
Right. And I'll bet you probably kept your racial insensitivity to a minimum, you know?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Until they were out of bus, I was like, these damn white people.
I mean, I will say I do that quite a bit. I mean, you know, there's a lot of times when I see white people doing white people shit that you're just like, damn it, white people. Like,
God damn it.
Stop
Typical
it.
white people shit.
It's like, we're already getting labeled for all this other shit, you know? Like, quit helping it.
Exactly.
We've already got, you know, eons of horrible things to overcome. Quit adding this dumb shit on top of it.
For sure.
Oh,
Stop digging, you assholes.
Right, yeah.
The hole's deep enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's just put a little dirt over us and pretend we're ground for a little while. And
yeah, for sure.
Oh, man.
Goddamn jerks.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
So yeah, that was so weird to go from like this beautiful artwork and all this like this in this serene setting in the botanical gardens,
right? Directly back to 1950. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. To whiplash from the shitty bus driving and that conversation.
Man, yeah, that's no bueno.
Yeah, it was something.
Oh, people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This stuff really isn't that hard, you know.
No.
Like just. Yeah. God.
But I mean, you know, like other than that this week, it's just, you know, just basically been working. It's been hot.
Mm-hmm.
Hot.
Yeah.
Like I've been, like, you know, I buy the nice Under Armour underwears to protect against all the elements.
Sure.
Bro, even it was so hot, even that Under Armour was defeated.
Oh man.
Went home one day from work, like,
Like, wow, I have Under Armour fruit roll-ups on.
Yeah, like that's some severe chafage going on.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's a rough go. Yeah.
Pretty sure I could have, you know, made some hush puppies the next day with the amount of powder I threw down there.
I bet. You're like, here, give me an egg, I'll make pasta.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It was like, all right, I got to combat this. I mean, it's already hot in my work as it is, and the air doesn't move in there.
Yeah.
And then when it's like, oh yeah, it's going to be 92 degrees, feel like over 100 because of the humidity.
Yeah. Yeah, it was,
Dude.
95 or 96 the other day, and I had to go to the doctor's office, and this is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I get inside, and the nurse is like, is it still hot out there? I'm like, it's 90 degrees outside. Well, do you think it's going to be like 40 now? Like, of course it's still
retarded.
hot. Yeah.
Jesus.
So I'm like, yeah, it's real hot out there. But, after I left there, I had to go get some prescriptions, and holy shit, dude. Like, I got some other stuff while we were in there, and just unloading the cart into the car. Again, we've already mentioned during this episode, Heat and I don't get along real well, but
right.
I'm just pouring sweat, and I'm like, literally as gross as it was dripping off my arms. That's how much I was sweating, and I'm like, but I'm like, dude, all I did was empty a grocery cart.
Right.
That's how humid and hot it was for here, And then I get home and unload everything again, and I was like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I don't want to go back outside in this shit. Like, I pity anyone who has to work in this.
Yeah, it's not a good time out there.
No, I wouldn't think so.
No, it sucks.
No, it was pretty terrible. Yeah. Now, I was smart enough to take water with me for both trips and whatever,
Yes.
so I stayed ahead of the game on that.
Nice.
I've learned my lesson.
You should probably invest in like one of those big old camelbacks or whatever.
Oh, I really should. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm surprised at this point I'm not wearing like various, like Under Armour gear going outside, like one of those cool towels over my head, the camelback,
Right.
like
umbrella hat.
Umbrella hat. Yeah. 12 pounds of sunscreen on me.
Absolutely.
And that's just to like walk to the end of the driveway. You know?
Just go check the mail.
And I still come back burnt and dehydrated.
Of course.
How did
Barely make it inside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, holy shit! How did? Whoo! Oh,
yeah, I
man.
normally like wear my work jeans 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Not last week.
No.
They were soaked. It was
Oh, I
gross.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking like the linemen that you remember how Madden used to like circle the offensive linemen because they'd have like the sweat line like way down the back of their pants.
Yeah.
You'd
Their ass
be like,
sweat is
yeah.
migrating to their calves.
Yeah, he's like, these guys are working hard. It's like, no, those pants are working hard. I don't know about the guys.
Yeah,
but...
exactly. Those pants are having the worst day of their lives.
Accurate. I mean, whew, boy. Yeah, I'm with you though. It's like every day before going outside, it's like, giving the old bottle of Gold Bond a nice big hug. So.
Oh my God. I mean, like I'm normally not that. I had to buy some specifically. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't do this again.
Yeah. I mean, again, I sweat like a maniac, so I kind of, generally keep it on hand, but I don't generally need it. But when it gets like this level of hot and stuff, it's, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't deal with thigh/ball chafage again.
Yeah.
This is not a good time.
Yeah, this time of year, pretty much you have to make it to where, like, like you said, if someone dipped your nethers in hot oil, you'd be a crispy treat,
Oh yeah, like straight up Long John Silver's seafood platter going on.
Yep.
Yeah, it was gross.
Who ordered the one piece with hush puppies?
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, it
Good
was
times.
oof. The heat's been something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've just walking around, like, I've heard, I don't know how many women in, like, I was in Kroger, and I heard one woman say something about it being hot, and the other one was, said something about, God, I forgot what it was. It had something to do with the amount of sweat under her boobs,
Oh God.
Yeah. And she had some large boobs, so, there was probably, like, you probably could go swimming in there,
I mean, but would you wanna?
No, but you could have.
Okay.
I'm just saying it was there.
I'll swim in any pool.
Cesspool. yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah. It's hitting everybody, not just us lads. I'm sure the ladies got it bad enough, too.
Oh, I'm sure, right? The old clam bake.
Oh, man. And the boob sweat. That's got to be terrible. Yeah.
I guess it's a thing. I don't know.
Yep. You know, the worst part for me is the whole, like, not having hair anymore. It's just, there's just, even wearing a hat, I either, like, soak the hat, or it's just pouring down my face like I'm Shaq at the free throw line.
I actually, on Amazon, I went and bought it's like a helmet liner for, like bicyclists wear them or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And I bought the most badass one, of course.
Sure.
Because all the
Hello
sections
Kitty.
were solid colors.
Yeah.
Or it was the American flag, or it was the grayed out American flag, or it was just black of skulls. I'm like, well, black of skulls.
You should have went with the American flag.
Thought about it. I might actually get another one because it gets pretty nasty pretty quick.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is like you run under cold water and then you like wring it out and snap it in the air and you put it on your head. It's like putting an ice pack on.
Yeah, I have a towel that does the same thing.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
You know?
I bought that towel years ago because of like when I was bowling regularly, you know, on my league and stuff. Like, it's hot in there sometimes. So I bought that towel so I could basically just put it on the back of my neck or over my head or something. And yeah, I noticed there's a whole lot more of them now. So, you know, because when I first got it, I'm like, man, these things are awesome.
Well, because, you know, I told you all my do-rags are packed.
Yeah.
You know, except I have two up here on my left because I've got like a Captain Morgan bar sign over here, and I got two bandanas I got from a beer fest, and I grabbed one down like, oh, sick, I got this bandanas. But as soon as I touched the fabric, it'd be like putting burlap on my head. It's so scratchy. And I'm like, I can't do that.
The only way you could do that would be you'd have to, like, you know, petroleum jelly your head up first.
Yeah, for sure.
Make sure, you know, cut down on that friction.
So I hopped on Amazon. I did some, like, you know, I was just looking for, you know, those like Under Armour, like, you know, skull caps, but those are too expensive.
Oh,
Under Armour's expensive.
Yeah.
But I found these on Amazon for like $10.
Yeah.
And it's goddamn incredible. Life changing if you're working and you have to wear a hard hat or something.
I imagine so, because like you said, you see football players wear them.
Yeah.
And stuff, you know, and I thought originally that it was to keep, cause you know, like every time you see like a lot of the players when like they take the helmet off, you see like the big red marks or whatever on their foreheads. Oh, yeah. I thought it was more to kind of prevent a little chafery there. And then I found out I was like, oh, it's actually, you know, to kind of wick the sweat a little bit.
Yeah, like, cause I mean, I have like a Carhartt hat I'd wear, my last job I'd wear under my hard hat.
Yeah.
But I put it on and slapped a hard hat on my first day, and they're like, "Oh no ball caps underneath hard hats here." I was like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
And I always like putting something underneath anytime I had to wear a hard hat because I think it's gross.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. Right.
Your shit gets all soaked into.
You're basically wearing
a little forehead thing, and you know.
Right. You're wearing like an old baseball mitt on top of your head.
It's like, and I mean it's a brand new hard hat, but still, I'm like, I don't want to wear this for like 4 days and have it be all soaked with shit. And I know it still is, but at least I have a layer between me and it and my head now.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not like you can easily like clean it.
No,
you know. So
no, because the only way it'll get clean is once I'm 90 days in, I don't have to wear the orange hard hat to designate me as a new guy.
The dunce cap, eh?
Yeah,
right.
Basically.
Hey, look at old orange hat.
But that's pretty. Like, I met the plant manager who used to, he started off at the bottom. He's still like, he's in a maintenance shop, like welding and shit. I'm like, this guy runs this whole plant. He's like, and he's like, hey, how's it going? So he's like, so what's fucked up about this place? Which completely threw me off.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, it seems disorganized, which it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, all right. He's like, how about the people? Any assholes yet?
Just you.
Like, that would have been a killer move.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, everyone's been great. I had to point at the hard. I'm like, I know this is an asshole attractant, but he starts laughing.
Yeah, because you're not wrong. That literally, it's like walking into a school saying, "Hey, I'm a freshman," you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, good times. But it sucks because it's like I like the color orange.
Now, do you have to go through like a test to get like your next color hat?
it's like a dojo.
Yeah. Like, all right, Tony, we're gonna need you to break this pane of glass using only your face.
That's easy.
Yeah. Until you realize it's really thick. It's like 5 pounds or 5 feet thick. There you go. Like,
I don't think anybody's breaking that. They're thinking, well, maybe you can.
I was going to say, can I phone a friend? I walk in, I barely tap it, it just shatters. Like, was there even glass there?
Yeah, I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
It didn't even tickle.
No, it's like after 90, you get to basically pick whatever you want. Like some guys have hard hats or, football teams, whatever. So it's like, I like orange. But I'm definitely not picking an orange.
Can you paint your hat or your helmet up like a goalie helmet?
That'd be awesome.
Right?
I probably could actually just take it home and do it.
Yeah. That'd be badass. Yeah.
It would be.
Have your nickname on there and everything, whatever.
Thank God I don't have one yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard some nicknames for people. I was like, oof.
Well, yeah. That happened.
They're like, oh, this is little Gary and this is fat Gary. I'm like, oh, so clearly Gary's around here somewhere. They're like, no.
Wow. There's no just
like,
Gary,
wow.
huh? Damn.
Yeah, I was like, wow, little Gary and fat Gary.
That's about the way it tends to work with guys, though. Like, you have two, and then it's like, well, we have to give them each a nickname. One can't be Gary and the other's Fat Gary. It's kind of like on Bob's Burgers. There's regular size Rudy and pocket size Rudy.
Yeah, accurate.
There's no Rudy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
just the rule of the playground.
It's a very special place.
Mm-hmm.
As most working with blue collar people always crack me up.
Yeah,
so, they're my people.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Little Gary and fat Gary.
Yeah. Well, whatever, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
As long as it doesn't bother them.
I mean, it probably does, but whatever.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit about that either.
Well, that's pretty standard. Yeah.
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 But I mean, that's pretty much for my week. It was, lots of stuff over the weekend. During the week, not so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really done a whole lot either because heat.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Like, fuck going outside unless I have to.
Yeah, funk, all that.
Although, the day I went to the doctor's office, I woke up at 9:30 that morning and our power was out because apparently some asshole hit a pole somewhere and it dropped the power basically for this area. And I was like, ugh. I was like, well, I'm glad I'm going up to my doctor's office, so I'll be out of here, for the bulk of this, because I looked it up on their website, and they're like, oh, by like 3:30 it should be back on. And I'm like, oh my God, it's supposed to be like 92 or something, 95, whatever it was that day. And it's like, which means the air is going to kick back on right at like the hottest part of the day, or, when it's still super hot.
Right.
And then it's going to fight like hell to try to catch up with that,
Yeah, that's weird because we had our power go out. Like Logan called me, he's like, "Hey, Dad, why is the power out?" I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not here.
Because I shut it off.
Yeah, no. I'm like, I don't know.
Like I'm not there. Why?
I pulled up, the outage map that we get, and there's literally just like a little purple triangle centered above my house. Of no power.
It's just you.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it felt. And I'm like, well, Logan, they said it's going to be on by 8:30. This is like 5.
Yeah.
And at 5 at night, I'm like, it's supposed to be on by 8:30. I don't know what to tell you. He's like, well, I'm gonna leave because it's too hot in here. I'm like, well, if you're leaving, you're taking the dog.
Yeah,
it's
really.
too hot for you. It's too hot for her.
Yeah, right.
He's like, oh, okay.
I mean, that's not unfair,
Yeah, I know. Because I'm,
Because you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd send him the link. I'm like, here's the link for the outage map so you can check it and see when the power comes back on.
Mm-hmm.
Before you leave, do me a favor, make sure there's not 8 feet of water in the basement.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why it was out here, though. It was that hot day, though. I can only assume. I assumed it was from, like, rolling blackouts and shit, you know?
That was, well, what was weird was right before it went out, I heard, like, I was sleeping and I thought I heard, like, a pop kind of sound. So I just thought we popped a breaker or something.
Right.
So I got up and went and checked and, no, and I turned the main one off and back on just to make sure that it, wasn't. And nothing happened. I was like, man.
Son of a bitch.
And it's like, well, luckily it's still cool from the overnight coolness, And so I went around and made sure all the curtains were closed and stuff to try to, you know, keep it as cool as possible for
keep the evil out.
Yeah. And yeah, but I had to go to my doctor's office. I guess they had it back on by like 2:00 or something like that. So it was on a little early, but yeah, it's like it's how it always goes though, right? It's like, you know, air never goes out when it's like, you know, 85 or something, or 80, where you're like, this is tolerable. It's hot, but I can live.
Yeah, be fine. Nah, it's when it's over 100 degrees.
Just like, you know, the last 2 times I've had a furnace go out, both times it's been like one of or the coldest night of the year, basically.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Every damn time.
Every damn time.
So, yeah, that's about all that's gone on for me too. It's been pretty uneventful week.
Right.
So, yeah. I don't even have any good, like, people at the store stories. Like, everybody was...
man rant.
No, I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll get to one. I have a variety of stuff to talk about, though.
Oh, all right.
You got stuffs too, or no?
I have one thing that really caught my eye and I saved.
Okay.
It's incredible.
All right. You want me to...
It reminds me of the old days of podcasting when you just see some silly headline, you're like, that can't be real.
Oh, okay.
But it is real, and you're like, now I have to talk about it.
All right. So, let's see here. 3. Pick a number 1 through 5.
Oh, shit. I'll go 3.
3? Okay. Did you see that Netflix is going to be developing a Sandman series?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, unfortunately, David Goyer is, like, supposed to write it, and he's but, you know, hopefully Neil Gaiman will be, like, an actual part of it so that to kind of keep it on track.
Wow, that kind of scares me a little bit.
Well, yeah, and apparently they're talking, like, giant budget type.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it really quick here. Probably not.
It's either going to be really good or it's going to be, like, dreadfully bad. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm going to be so sad if it's not good, you know?
Yeah.
Especially because...
Sandman.
There's the Sandman deal will provide a financial windfall to Warner's, which is in final negotiations for a film and TV pact with JJ. That's not what I wanted, sorry. Yeah, I don't see it. I thought I read somewhere how much it was going to be. But I think they were talking, from what I was reading on somewhere else, I think they were talking like Game of Thrones type numbers. Like,
really?
Yeah, like big money.
Wow.
So that if they're going to do it, you do it right, kind of a thing. So,
I mean, I'm not mad at that.
No, I'm not either. Because I love Sandman. It was such a good story.
Oh, for sure, right?
I would love to see a good treatment of that on Netflix rather than a movie or something. I'm so happy that it's supposed to be a series. You know,
as long as they don't also Game of Thrones it and it starts out amazing and then they just cram as much shit in they can as the last couple episodes.
Yeah, there's that. Well, that is one thing. I mean, if they remotely stick to the book does have an end point, you know?
Right.
So, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll care about that.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Oh, it's making money? Let's keep making seasons.
Yeah. Oh, let's just pound us into the earth, guys.
Yeah. So, what can you do?
What can you do?
But yeah, one of those, like anything, you know, you hear it and you're like, ooh, because, you know, cautious optimism.
Yeah, for sure, right?
But pretty excited. I still haven't watched, I need to start Good Omens. I haven't started that yet.
Oh, I forgot to talk about that. I started watching that. I downloaded 2 episodes on my Kindle.
Uh-huh.
I was like, this is cool. We can watch it in the plane while we're flying, going on vacation. And for some reason, it had the audio descriptions turned on. And I don't know if it's the version I downloaded.
Okay.
But it's like this nice little British lady. Like if we were blind, it would be amazing.
Right. Yeah.
It's describing every scene. And I could not turn it off. And when the show first started, it's the first episode, and you know, I'm like, well, it's a Neil Gaiman thing. His things are always a little weird. Maybe this is like the narrator,
right?
And they're even narrating the goddamn opening credits. And then the show started, and it's like the black sedan pulls up with a fluster of dirt or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute. This isn't right. So I need to restart it because it was so distracting.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
That's
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I mean, it makes sense because, blind people and stuff.
Yeah. I saw it on something on, I don't remember if it was Netflix or Hulu or something like that, like some show when I was looking through the, the options because I wanted to turn the captioning on. And I saw something that said, and I was like, what the hell is that? And I turned it on and that's what it was. So I was like, oh, that's cool for people who need that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was something, all right.
Not so much for us.
But that first episode looked really cool.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Yeah, I just I haven't had the access to the Amazons, so.
Big delicious jungle woman?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Death by Snoo Snoo.
Death by Snoo Snoo.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the first thing I had there was the Sandman thing, which was pretty awesome.
Right.
All right. 1 through 4.
All right, let's go 1.
1? Okay. So, did you hear about the Walking Dead comic ended this week?
Ended?
Yep.
No.
And here's the best part. They didn't tell anybody that it was going to happen. Like, from what I read, retailers in the solicitation were told to up their orders of this issue. And that they would be offered, that they could return any, for full refunds, so basically to take the risk away of it.
Oh, right.
But they already had solicitations for like the next couple issues. So nobody knew it was going to be the end. Now, a year ago, Kirkman kind of alluded to that he was getting close. That he kind of felt like the story was kind of, within
played
the
out.
end was within sight. Yeah. But apparently it's not sat real well with a bunch of retailers because, there apparently was a generous, according to the article I read, generous overprint, which I'm glad they at least did that because I was the whole time I'm like, man, if they don't do an overprint on this, they're real assholes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because at least with overprints, there'd be a few available at Diamond, so once you realize what it is, you go, oh shit, and call your rep the next day or whatever
I need more.
I need all of these, yeah. So at least there was that. And they've announced they're going to go to a second printing, of course,
Naturally.
But still, picture, like when we had, our place, if a book like that came out, we'd be like, man, because you'd have people coming in all day. Hey, do you have was it 193 or 194? 193. It's like you'd have people coming in wanting it, and you'd be like, yeah, sorry, we're out.
Yeah,
on the upside,
out.
most other shops would be too, but, the last thing you want to do as a business is keep turning your customers away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the thing is, like, the reprints, or the second print, I'm sorry, looks like they won't ship until, like, the 31st.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, they should have had this planned way better.
I mean, I kind of get it, because they don't want to be like, they probably didn't want to put it out there like, oh, guess what? Like, and, no one can keep a secret.
No, totally not.
So if you're like, hey, shop guys, keep this under your hats. Yeah,
well,
okay.
And I think some shops still get their books on Tuesday. I don't know if you remember, like I think it was right after we closed, Diamond started doing that, where you could get your books on Tuesday, but of course you weren't allowed to put them out till Wednesday.
Right.
But yeah, I read that Robert Kirkman, his approach was, he said he hates when you go to a movie and you realize that you're in the final act. Because you in your head, you look at the movie differently and you go, oh man, this is almost over. He's like, I prefer the movies where you get so caught up in it that you don't realize that it's over until it's over, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So his strategy, or, thought process was the same with the book, is people wouldn't know it was coming, essentially. Although, from what I was told by Fluffy Bunny Ash, after last issue, probably should have kind of maybe seen this coming. Spoiler alert, if anyone hasn't read issue 192 fast forward. Okay?
Oh, shit. I haven't read it. Let me fast forward.
All right. I know you don't give a shit. That's why I'm...
No, I don't care.
So apparently, though, in the last issue, he kills Rick.
Oh, really?
And he said from the very beginning, the way the story was pitched was it's a story through Rick's eyes. When Rick's story concludes, it's over, basically. So...
It should have been Rick waking up from his coma or whatever. Oh, it's all a dream.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man.
That would really piss people off.
Oh, man. You know what would have been great is if they would have put out, like, 5 different ones, and each one is some trope from some shitty ending to a TV show, like Fade to Black from The Sopranos.
For sure.
And then have one that's the actual, you know, the real ending to the show.
That would be an amazing way to end it, actually.
That would have been great. Oh, man. So, that has upset quite a few people. I haven't looked on eBay to see what they're going for on eBay, but, you know.
I got the Google right in front of me, Brian.
I was going to say, because honestly...
What 192, you said?
193, I believe. Yeah, 193. Because I'm just going to... You know, when I go to read it, it'll be in trade form anyway, so I don't really care, but... if I get that far... You know,
right?
If it's still interesting enough to carry me that long.
See here. Click the old shopping tag. 62, 54.
Yeah.
54.
I mean, it's still pretty fresh too. So you know, but even with an overprint for it to go to that, you know, I'm not shocked because I mean, you think about. The first couple issues of this book were not overprinted at all.
Right.
And, but that's how this book kind of came out, really. It was solicited. People were like, it's a zombie book. And then all of a sudden it was like the hottest thing in comics.
It was the zombie book.
Yeah. Cause I remember like when I, you know, talking with you and I was like, hey, did you take one of these home from the shop? Cause we used to take books, you know, so we could stay on top of books.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was like, hey, did you take one of these home? Cause they're worth, you know, a few bucks now. It was crazy, you know, and it was because nobody really took a chance on ordering them because Kirkman was nobody at that point.
Right.
You know, his name had no weight to it aside from, I don't remember if Invincible was out before that or not.
Fat Gary's name.
Right, Fat Gary, I'd be like, give me all of them.
Yeah, look at all that weight.
So, it's funny because it's like, I get it. And on one hand, it's like, I kind of think it's cool to drop it to where you're just like, holy shit, this is it? You know?
Yeah.
But also, for the most part, though, it's like, out of like 4, you know, I'm like 3/4, like, it was kind of a shit move. And 1/4, I mean, like, this is cool.
Like, we also have that angle of we were in those shoes.
Yeah.
Of it being a shit move to the guy who's selling it.
Yeah. Well, and there's another aspect to it, too. Like us, we were a smaller shop. So we wouldn't have gotten, like, if there was any sort of an allocation, we would have gotten, like, 2 or 3 more, probably, you know, something like that. Whereas, like, bigger shops would have had a better shot at getting way more because, you know, they order more books. So that really could have, you know, kicked us right in the pants twice, actually, you know.
Yeah, for sure, right?
So, it's, you know, whatever. I mean, it's over. They did, like I was telling Ashley, you know, Marvel did something similar with Captain America when they killed him. All they did in the Diamond solicitation was basically say, or in the retailer book, you know, they were like, hey, make sure you order plenty of this issue. That's all they did.
Right.
You know, and people are like, what the hell? Okay. And most stores didn't because they were like, whatever, it's probably got, you know.
Yeah. Fuck you, Marvel. I'm not, you don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, first appearance of Cap's teddy bear. Woo, you know, so. And then it comes out and people were like, oh, fuck. You know, Cap gets killed in it.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. I was like, ooh. So, because I remember hearing about it, that they had told retailers to order extra. And I was like, well, I'm going to pre-order a copy of this from somewhere just to kind of make sure I get one. And then when I saw why, I was like, yeah, I'm glad I pre-ordered that because this is going to be real hard to find everywhere.
Yes.
And sure enough. And, you know, in the story ended up breaking on like CBS, whatever their morning show is, you know.
Coffee Talk or something.
Sure, we'll go with that. Coffee talk.
Why is there a mosquito in here? You son of a bitch.
It's there to spread malaria and other things.
Fucking mosquitoes are the worst.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. I was
Yeah,
going to say,
they're-
I don't know, but then I thought about how many people there die as a result of them yearly. It's like, they are pretty bad.
Man, I had one the other day. You know, every once in a while you get the one mosquito in your car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was leaving work and he was hanging out on my passenger window. And I'm like, he's all the way over there.
Yeah.
It's so hot out, I got to have my air on. I'm like, well, fuck that mosquito.
Right.
Whatever. And I came here because I had to pick up a couple things from the house. My arms are full. As soon as I open the door, he lands right on my arm. And my hands are full, and I'm like, you little... Believe it or not, I killed that fucker.
Oh, well, all right. with your mind powers, right?
I was so pissed off.
That's telekinesis, Kyle. That'd be great, wouldn't it? It lands on your arm, you just stare at it until it explodes.
Oh my god, that would be the best thing ever.
No, I meant your arm, not the mosquito.
Yeah, you missed.
Yeah. Whoops. Maybe I should. You're going into the kitchen to clean yourself up, and then you see the you're going through your mail and you're like, oh, what's this from the Xavier Institute? Talk about timing.
Talk about timing indeed.
Yep. So, all right, I got, what we got here? 3 more.
Let's do number 3.
3? All right.
Yeah.
This one's sad.
Okay.
Did you see it was announced that Mad Magazine's going to cease publication?
Oh, really? I did not see that one.
Yeah, no more new Mad magazines.
What happened?
Magazine, Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I've been reading some stuff lately that it seems like DC might be in some financial trouble and that they're kind of reorganizing. Like a few weeks ago, technically Vertigo comics don't exist anymore. They're doing a new line or something. Basically, they're new Vertigo comics or whatever, but Vertigo as a brand does not exist anymore. And now Mad Magazine. And yeah, I was saddened by this because, I remember my parents didn't necessarily love that I would spend money on Mad Magazine.
I hear ya.
Like, this. But it's like, growing up, it's like, I think it really kind of helped shape my love of satire. And, there's been some really good political or social commentary, in Mad Magazine over the years,
Right.
There's some just out and out, just ridiculous, silly things, but there's been some really good stuff in there.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it was something I always enjoyed flipping through.
Mm-hmm. I can't go, oh man, because it's like, look, I haven't bought one in years, but
right.
It is, it still saddens me to see it go, so like it's not even going to continue to exist as like a digital content or something like that from the way.
Yeah, that actually kind of surprises me that they don't, because how easy is that?
I was actually kind of wondering why they didn't do some other things first. Like, first of all, take it from the size magazine that it was and make it like comic book size.
Yeah, for sure.
Cut it way down like that. And by comic book size also, like 24, 25 pages, just kind of really slim it down, get the price into it. I don't know what they charge for it, but
right.
I was kind of wondering why they didn't do more of that stuff first, but I guess they just decided the numbers on it clearly must not be very good. So
it must be just in the shit tank.
Yeah, it must be. Otherwise, I would think they would try something to repackage it or put some sort of a shine to it to try to get people back to it.
They at one time had its own TV.
Yeah.
Show.
Had its own board game too, because I had it.
Yeah. That was a great board game. That
was a weird board game. Yeah.
That was a weird board game.
Mm-hmm.
They put out books.
Action figures. I don't know if you remember, we had a couple Alfred D. Newman action figures hanging on the wall.
I do remember that.
Mm-hmm. And Spy versus Spy ones.
It's just kind of shocking that the descent,
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
It's just like everything else from our childhood, Tony. No, it's not from our childhood, technically. I mean, it was around way before we were.
Right. Yeah.
But
True.
yep. So, yeah, sad. A little bit of a sad day there for, satire, cartoons, however you want to look at it. Whatever you thought of it. So.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. Man, if Mad Magazine can't make it, what hope is there for the rest of us?
It's true, right?
I don't really no correlation there.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. Just let's say it maybe.
All right, fine. All right, one or two.
We'll do in order now. 1, then 2.
All right. Save the sad one for last. Okay.
Perfect. That's all right. I got one that'll cheer everybody.
All right, good. So you'll bring us home then. All right, got it.
Oh yeah.
Why is this link not working? Son of a bitch.
That's always the way it goes. For some goddamn reason.
Well, I know the gist of it until it loads. Here we go. It loaded. Okay, so this is actually from clickondetroit.com.
Oh.
Local news channel. I forgot which one, though. So, apparently, Michigan named best state in America.
What?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, good question, right? Michigan's the nation's best state according to Thrillist list of best states. Here's the explanation. Far too much of the Michigan narrative centers on Detroit and its many issues. Accurate. The Motor City's become a scrappily rising underdog that you can't help but root for, but Michigan's greatest strengths lie in the state as a whole. Did you know Michigan has more coastline than any other state, or any state other than Alaska? Did you know it has such an embarrassment of beer riches that you can easily hit Bell's and Founders in the same afternoon? We do.
Indeed.
Did you know the UP is so remote and uniquely beautiful that it almost feels like a secret 51st state where they inexplicably love British meat pies? Feeling like an extra state, I absolutely do know.
I mean, those pasties,
Yeah.
Or pasties, already call them
Right.
up there.
Because it is totally another state. I mean, it's another state. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Did you know most residents are more than happy to apologize for Kid Rock? Yeah, no. I won't apologize.
I'll apologize for early Kid Rock.
Okay, that's fair. But not for, like, the shooting Chinese grills.
Yeah. Oh, my God. What was that? What did he say? Take that, China.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. If you answered yes to at least 3 of these, then you already understand Michigan's charms. If you answered no to these questions, you should listen to the dulcet tones of Michigan tourism pitchman, Tim the Toolman Allen, and get yourself there immediately. It didn't say the Toolman, I just put that in there.
Oh, it should be Tim the former cokehead Allen.
Tim, visited Detroit Penitentiary multiple times, Allen. No, I can't disagree with those things, though. Because,
Right.
they're factual. But also because, there is a lot of good stuff in this state.
Oh, yeah. With the exception of the goddamn auto insurance.
Yeah, that's fair.
I really love Michigan.
Yeah. There's some real backwards thinking in this state, but I think that's everywhere. There's always going to be
Well, yeah.
some
you'll
people
have that.
Yeah.
It's
the
a
Kid Rock thing, I don't
conversation
know how to
actually
stop.
had over a few beers yesterday at the cookout.
Yeah?
Was like, everywhere you go, people are generally good people. There's always a few assholes that screw it up for
Oh,
everybody
yeah,
else.
right. Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, everyone just wants to have they just want to live their life and care for their family and,
Mm-hmm.
have a few cocktails and
Sure.
some good food and,
Yeah.
Yep. Then you got bus drivers.
Well, you have that bus driver.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Again, whatever the guy's name was we had him put in bay was was great. So,
Oh, you mean Tim Coconut Palms?
yeah, Tim the Toolman Palms, right?
Yeah. Yes.
No. So the top 5 states were Michigan, of course, Maine, Kentucky, Wisconsin, and Louisiana.
Those are not states I honestly would have thought would have been in top 5.
Louisiana, maybe, but even then, probably not, because I'd been like the whole like hurricane thing.
Yeah, it's like they got Katrina'd.
Yeah, like, I mean, Kentucky would definitely rocket toward the top because, delicious bourbon. So,
True.
I mean, it's hard to argue about. There's a lot of bourbon.
Is a beautiful state, too.
It is. It really is, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it says Thrillist used things like inventions, food and drink, famous people, and physical beauty to create the list. Now, I'm guessing they mean physical beauty as in the state, not as in it's...
The people?
It's people, yeah. But
wow.
yeah. So, then there's actually, there's some interesting stuffs on here about, the Great Lakes in Michigan, which I didn't realize. Also, I mean, Michigan is literally minutes from Canada, if you're so inclined.
I mean, that's true, too.
It's a trip across the Ambassador Bridge, and you're in.
Sure is.
So, yeah.
Born and raised in South Detroit.
Yeah. Damn it. Yeah. Right across the border, there's, casinos and what have you, if you're 19
right.
and wish to do things legally.
For sure.
Not that I would know anything about any of that.
No, of course not. Of course not.
So, yeah, I thought that was surprising.
Yeah, I am kind of shocked myself.
Yeah.
So, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I would love to see kind of like, how it said the different, like, here's what we rated it on. I would love to see what each state got for each of those things. Just pure curious.
Yeah,
nature.
I'm always surprised that they don't put those lists like that out.
Yeah. Because, because as far as, like, physical beauty and stuff goes, like, I haven't been to Maine. I've been to Wisconsin, Kentucky. I haven't been to Louisiana, and I've been to Michigan, obviously. And those 3 states are all pretty nice, especially, like, when you catch them in the fall and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
Colors are changing.
I was in Maine when I think I was like 14, and the only thing I remember is the worst horseflies I've ever dealt with in my life.
Okay, well, that's a good reason. Yeah.
I'm surprised it didn't carry us away.
Well, what I figure is at that time, it was probably, Maine would have done better because they chased you out, so that probably bumped them up the rip.
I mean,
no,
maybe.
Okay. No, actually, what I was... So, yeah, anyway, yeah. Michigan, best state in America. You're welcome. No.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's why we put Salty Language Studios all over the state.
Right. I assume as celebrities that we were, probably just pushed the next closest state wasn't even close.
Well, I mean, Brian, Salty Language bump.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm surprised Ohio didn't make it down there because, we spend time in Ohio. So I figured,
Yeah, but I mean, it's flat.
And it's still Ohio. And it's still Ohio.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Ohio people. Not sorry.
The old gag of, astronauts from Ohio because they're trying to get as far away from as they can. That whole thing.
I mean, it's not entirely accurate or false. No, anyway, yeah. So, yeah. Like I said, really surprising. Like, when I saw a thing, it was like, Thrillist released, best state in the country. Or no, and I'm thinking it's going to be Oregon or something, like, California or whatever. And I was like, Michigan. I was like, Like, all right.
Yeah, that is surprising to me.
Yeah. I mean, aside from the beer,
Well, yeah, that totally makes sense if you're talking Michigan beer.
The state is loaded with beer.
Everything else is crazy.
Yeah. And honestly, I didn't know that about the coastline of Michigan either. Like,
yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah, but I just never really stop and think about it.
The state's made up of 2 peninsulas.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which I never thought about until my daughter pointed out to me. When we were up in the UP, and she's like, "Oh, we're about ready to go back down to the Lower Peninsula," and I was like, "But it's," and I had to think, I'm like, "Oh God, she's right."
Yeah. It's the Fat Gary.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little Gary and Fat Gary.
Right, little Gary's up top. Yeah. And the terrible Gary's in Indiana. So.
Yeah, that's Stabby Gary.
Oh man. All right, so. All right, this last one kind of made me sad, Tony.
Sorry, I got one that's going to bring us back.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so apparently there was a major fire at a Jim Beam warehouse, 2 Jim Beam warehouses in Kentucky.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
Over 40,000 or 45,000 barrels of bourbon were in that place, and could be potentially lost.
I don't know if my story can bring us back.
Listen, I'm not a Beam guy. Like, there's
I
better
am
bourbon,
either, but it's just a thought.
but it's still bourbon.
Yeah.
It's. I just don't know, man. If bourbon can't make it, what hope is there for any of us?
I mean, it's true, right?
Like, how could Mother Nature hate bourbon? Because
I don't know. I mean, because you think it's made of corn, it's all natural and stuff. It's aged in oak barrels. You think that'd be right up Mother Nature's, like, alien stuff.
Right. I mean, I guess I should point out no one was hurt, but I'm sure there were tons of tears shed, though.
Oh yeah, there's probably still people crying.
On the upside, it was young whiskey, so it shouldn't affect the price or the availability of Beam for people. Which, whatever, but still sad, man. That's all that bourbon. Just
yeah. I mean, one tear.
I know, right? Jeez.
Jesus. Where is it? Where is it?
I don't know. That's a good question.
All right, here we go. It just seems appropriate, Brian.
Yeah, it does.
We play some sad music.
It does, yeah.
For our fallen brethren.
Yeah. Wow, I did not know this. Did you know that Jim Beam's parent company operates 126 barrel warehouses in Kentucky that hold approximately 3.3 million barrels of their brands?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know that they... Hold on. No sad music. I do know that they store barrels in different locations.
Yeah, which
just
makes
in case
sense.
such an event happens.
Sure.
It's the old... That's how actually... Screw all your eggs in one basket. Mine's going to be, that's why you don't put all your barrels in one warehouse. Out of respect.
That's right. That's right. Oh,
Out of respect.
Out of respect,
What
you're
I
right.
say.
Yep. I agree with you. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that is a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from the, drinking perspective of this, I'm just glad it's not like, like vintage, like, bourbons or something that, can't be replaced for like 20 years or something.
Right,
like that.
right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
If bourbon is going to have to go down, I'm glad it was young bourbon,
I mean, it's what Mother Nature would want.
I guess. Cause,
usually in like the animal kingdom, it's the opposite. They want the
Yeah.
older ones to go.
Mm-hmm.
In the bourbon kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if I was another bourbon company and I was an asshole, I'd probably have a marketing campaign that says something like, because there's some thought that maybe lightning caused the fire, like a lightning strike caused it. So if that does indeed become the case, I'd be all, we're the bourbon Mother Nature, doesn't hate. So.
Or if Jim Beam wanted to really capitalize on it, they'd have like a white lightning line or something.
Oh man. That'd be awesome.
Just saying.
That would be great.
Right?
Yeah. It is too bad there isn't a way to protect the barrels from this kind of thing, but wood, so.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Surround the wood with children.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that'll save the bourbon, but I'm not against it.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the last one I got.
All right. Well, I got something that can bring us back a little bit.
Well, I hope so.
And you would think that this would come out of this would be coming out of Florida, because that was our typical, old timey routine would be like, guess what, guys? Dayline Clearwater or whatever.
Yeah, it's always Florida or Ohio.
Yeah,
because
this
Ohio
actually comes out of Alabama.
Oh, well, see, that's a little different. You're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Dayline Bammy.
Yeah.
Man gave meth to attack squirrel to keep it aggressive.
That makes sense.
So, Alabama, the news headline alone got me.
Yeah.
Alabama man accused of drug possession allegedly fed meth to a caged squirrel in order to keep it aggressive. I'm only assuming that he thought if he ever got raided or something, he could just open up the cage and the squirrel was going to go batshit crazy.
Yeah, I would think so,
Chew off
right?
faces and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, what else would it do, right?
Right? Let's see here. It was 37-year-old Ronnie Reynolds got arrested on drug charges. They had to have animal control come in to figure out what the hell to do with a squirrel. Apparently, it's illegal to have a pet squirrel in Alabama. Yeah, maybe because that's usually like a
Dinner.
a nice appetizer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they don't actually know if the guy actually fed the squirrel meth or not. Because there's apparently not a meth test for squirrels.
Really?
Now, it says there's not a safe way to test the animal for drugs. So I can only assume the only way to test it is put it down.
Yeah, I was going to say, so there is a test.
There is. Yeah, it involves like cutting it in two, basically.
Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough.
It's got meth in its little squirrel belly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the idea of an attack squirrel, though. It kind of reminds me of like Trunk Monkey, but way more violent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I kind of like the idea, too, Somebody fucks with you, you just...
I pictured the squirrel from Ice Age.
Mm-hmm.
No? He's kind of got that meth look to him already.
Yeah.
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 That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I like this idea, though. I just like the idea of somebody fucking with you and you just release your, meth squirrel on them.
Hey, imagine if you had a whole bunch of them.
Oh, yeah. An army of meth squirrels?
Yeah. If you could train them to all, like, link up, like a
Voltron
kind of.
Oh, man, that'd be awesome. Although
you could wear them like a fur coat, and then you can just wave your arm, and they all like disengage and attack.
I feel like that's going to turn into a real like Frankenstein scenario, to where at some point you're going to be like, "What have I wrought?"
They just start eating you.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's a fine line you walk when you have a coat made out of meth squirrels.
That's true. Oh man, that'd be great. You have a coat made out of them. You're just walking somewhere and you just like take one and wing it at somebody.
Yeah, it's like you just point your finger and like 14 meth squirrels come flying off the sleeve.
Oh man, that'd be mad. That'd be awesome.
You just fling a little meth rock at somebody.
All right, we need to get a new Patreon up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wait, is it illegal to have meth squirrels in Michigan? It can't be.
No, Michigan's the best. It's the best state.
It's the best state, right?
So they actually, when you move here, they give you a meth squirrel.
That's weird. I didn't get any.
Well, because that was before we didn't get grandfathered in or whatever.
Bullshit.
Yeah. So it's the new ones. It's like, when you have a cell phone plan for like 7 years and new customers are getting all these sweet deals, but you're getting the high hard one.
Well, I guess the high hard one, nice. I guess it's time to move to another state and move back.
Yeah, right.
So what brings you to the wonderful state of Michigan? Number 1 by Thrillist, Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar, actually.
I'm familiar. That's why I moved back. Says here you lived in Ohio for 6 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Was down there, no meth squirrels. Came back.
Thought it was bullshit. Had to come home to the meth squirrels, and she's like, "Oh, I understand.
They are in high demand.
Yeah. You get nice license plates that have meth squirrels on them.
Heck yeah. Dude,
So,
if I could launch meth squirrels into people's cars on the highway, that'd be sick.
Like, the license plate says, like, Michigan, home of the meth squirrels, or something to that effect, Like,
oh, that should definitely be the name of a sports team.
The meth squirrels?
The next time you create a team of Madden, they need to be the meth squirrels. The Michigan meth squirrels.
Oh, shit. I like this idea. Well, in fairness, if we ever have our own salty language softball team, there's our name. We're the meth squirrels.
Meth squirrels. Like, do you mean math? Like the math? No.
No. Not at all.
Like, no, we don't like math.
No, otherwise we'd be the math squirrels.
Yes. Yeah.
You
exactly.
savage. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, you're right. That did bring us back. I'm in a way better mood now.
Yeah, see, I thought so.
Meth squirrels always make things better.
Unless you're on the wrong end of their face.
Yeah, or you live in Alabama because apparently it's illegal, which is horseshit.
Yeah, exactly. Those
Stupid
goddamn
backwards
Alabama
rules.
State troopers.
Yeah. You think, get with the times, Alabama.
Right?
Seriously.
Crimson Tide's just a tidal wave of meth squirrels coming at you.
Right? It's like, if I can't have abortions or meth squirrels, why am I living in Alabama?
Exactly. But can I have an aborted meth squirrel? Maybe.
As long as it wasn't a pet, I think you're okay.
It's actually going to be the hit single off my death metal album. Aborted meth squirrel.
That's a deep cut.
I know, right? It's a side B on the vinyl.
Yeah, on the vinyl, he says. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. All right. Well, I have a Q of the W here.
Oh, shit, son.
Now, last week I got no responses for my Q of the W, which makes me a sad panda.
I mean...
So,
just saying.
All right, so I'm going to try again.
Wait, how many responses did we get, Brian?
Let me do the math real quick. 0. Horse shit! Yep. We got as many responses as we have meth squirrels currently.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. Not enough. So here's a question for you. And this isn't the Q of the W. We're not there yet.
Oh, okay, all right.
So you know how there's that heifer project, that like sends farm animals?
Fat Gary.
Oh, no, not him. That's a different heifer project.
Yeah, they send animals and shit.
Yeah. So can we start one of those with meth squirrels?
Ooh, I like it.
Right? You just, you give money, we send a meth squirrel to somebody. It's like a starter kit.
I mean, I'm not mad at this idea.
They have to supply their own meth, though, because we can't be sending meth across state lines.
No, but we can definitely send meth squirrels.
Right. I mean, unless maybe we pack some in the squirrel. But the squirrel's going to consume whatever we do, because it's already hooked. There's no...
Sure.
Now, here's another question for you.
Yes.
Do you have to worry about getting bit by a meth squirrel?
I mean, I don't know if it's like a Spider-Man type of situation.
Well, no, I was thinking more along the lines of, like, most people, you get meth mouth.
Oh. Yeah, you just might get violently gummed.
Yeah. Well, like, our squirrels will, because we'll have dental implants.
Yeah, like big, ridiculous chompers, too.
Yeah.
So they look real stupid.
Like, what's his name from the Bond movie?
Oh, yeah.
Jaws.
Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but but buck teeth, because I want to look dumb.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. We don't want them to look dumb.
Yeah, no, I want to look dumb. I want them to look fearsome. I want someone to think like, man, what's all these redneck rats coming at me?
Yeah. Like, oh, it's such a cute squirrel. Why are his eyes red?
Yeah. Why has he got summer teeth?
Yep. They knock you down, steal your wallet, and take off. They don't attack you otherwise. They just steal your wallet because, get more meth.
They got a score.
That's all they think about. From what I've heard, that's the mentality. You just once you score, you think about the next score. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like stealing shoes off of people and whatever, just whatever they can get their hands on or little paws on.
Yeah, those little creepy paws.
Mm-hmm.
Damn tree rats.
Yeah, like, oh, it's so cute. He's got my keys, and the next thing you know, you see him like link up and like be able to drive your car away.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, the hell? I mean, exactly.
Next scene, it's like, get me the president.
The president's being torn apart by him.
Meanwhile, the president is just a giant meth squirrel. He's the mastermind.
Yep, just a clever suit full of squirrels.
Right. Damn it. I knew it.
Squirrels in different colored uniforms, linking up, forming Presidentron.
Yep.
Whatever.
It definitely looks like one on his head. But
yeah, boy does it.
All right, so moving on. All right, so the Q of the W for this week. I actually heard on I was listening to the U Up podcast, which is, the companion podcast to Nikki Glazer's U Up show on Sirius. And
fair enough.
They were talking about like whether or not you're a good person or whatever. and she asked Andrew Collin, a guy who opens for her a lot, and he's a comedian. She asked him, "What's the nicest thing you've done for someone recently without being asked?" I mean, aside from just, letting them bask in our presence, that's, and the podcast.
Yeah, of course.
And the podcast doesn't count,
Right. I mean, the podcast should be everyone's list, honestly, because,
right.
Yeah. That's a good question. I mean, like, I guess I cleaned up after the cookout today because I didn't have to work.
Yeah.
I didn't have to because I'm coming here, but I was like, that'd be nice if I put all this shit away and did the dishes and.
Right. See, you got to learn the trick. You just hide it out back.
Oh, who said I didn't?
Oh, nice. Like kids when they're like, "Look, my room's clean." And
there's a fence with brush on the other side and a bunch of plates.
Smart.
Smart.
Wicked smart, dude.
Like, oh, must have been a deer.
Yeah, a deer.
Deer having a party back there.
God damn it, them party deer back.
You didn't know they celebrated America Day too, did you?
Get my gun.
Woo.
Nah, forget that. Get my bottle rockets.
Yeah, I have a tendency just to like do shit for people just because I just do.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I guess like it wasn't really from me, but we had a concierge in Mexico, and like
you gave him a handy.
No. Yeah, Michelle brought her a little like watercolor book and made a painting of her, which you could see from our balcony. We gave it to him with a nice note on the back.
Oh, that's cool.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's cool.
He's looking at it going, you could have given me $5. No.
I gave him 20.
I'm kidding. I'm just fucking
I think
around.
he's probably living like a king now.
Probably, yeah.
With that $120 bill.
Yeah. He hangs the painting in his Meth Squirrels cage.
Yeah, exactly. Right over his little mantle.
Right? Like, in hopes that it'll look at that and calm down.
Serenity painting. Yeah, I don't know. I always find myself doing just random shit for people just because,
Yeah.
I mean, you know how it is, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I could not talk to, I'm not even call people friends. I could not talk to an associate of mine for years, but if they go, hey, man, like I'm moving, can you help? I'll be like, yeah, I'll be right there.
Yeah. Oh,
I just can't help it.
Can you bring a truck and be here at 5 a.m? Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I'll be right there.
Fine. Yeah. Oh, and nothing's boxed.
I've done it a couple times in my past already.
Yeah, I know.
I think I'm retarded. I must be stupid. I need to stop, chewing on meth squirrels, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing to do anyway, but,
Have you ever had Alabama meth squirrel jerky?
I have not. Well, all I know is it's not from a pet because it's from Alabama, so.
That's true.
Yeah. So, I feel like it's chewier, right? Yeah, if you get one that's a pet, it's probably likely to be a little more fatty.
Yeah, because they don't have that street life.
Mm-hmm. Ugh. Mm-hmm. Yuck. Oh, man. Yeah, mine's probably about the same. I mean, the first one that popped into my head was it a couple weeks ago when, I was at the hospital and a woman, like, essentially almost fainted in the elevator.
Bulldog her.
No, totally. Like,
wrap her up in a small package.
Yeah. What else would I do? Nah, actually, I caught her and they're like, oh, good, he's got her. And then it was the old, belly to back suplex.
It was like perfect flex.
Yeah. Right. Even hooked the leg because, she couldn't kick out. I mean, perfect flex.
Perfect flex.
Got the 3 count and then I let her go. But yeah.
Spit gum in.
Yeah.
Slapped it against the side of the elevator.
Right. Naturally.
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah. I mean, but that's, I don't know, other than that, I mean, I'm always holding doors for people, when possible, or, like when I'm at the doctor's office, if, someone's trying to get into the elevator, there was a woman like running down the hallway trying to catch the elevator, which I don't get because it's like, it's not like once the elevator leaves, it doesn't come back till tomorrow or something.
Yeah, it's like, it's not like a plane.
Yeah. I mean, it comes back pretty fast, so, cause I don't know how many floors you can go on that elevator. I think you can only go like four floors or something like that.
So you didn't make eye contact and then go over and reach the door close button?
Tap, 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 tap. No. But yeah, it's usually stuff like that. I've also, like not too long ago, I saw somebody trying to pay for something, and they were like digging for change, and you could tell they were like worried, like how much change they had, like probably didn't have enough kind of thing. And I just bought, I don't even remember what it was like a gallon of milk and something else. It was like $4, and I just paid for it.
Like, I got you, bro.
Yeah, it's like whatever, just because we've all been there when you're counting every last cent and going,
oh yeah,
boy, I hope I got
right?
enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a little different if, like if they were buying a giant can of Mickey's or something,
New TV.
Yeah. Yeah, they're counting change out for it.
Like, oh shit, it might be a little.
No, I got you.
Might be a little short.
I got you. Don't worry about it. Like, in fact, don't even worry about paying for it. It's like all you gotta do is you just grab it and run.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'll trip the guy.
Yeah. I was trying to think of something a little better than those kind of things, in hopes of of that. I mean, those are all things that I feel like we should all do anyway.
Right.
Like that's just how I was raised.
Yeah, I mean, I am with you on that one.
Yeah, if you can help, especially the little shit, if you can help, why not? It's like I was talking with Heno about, I went to Panda Express, and they have a thing where every time you get food there, they'll ask you if you want to round up to donate to the children's hospital. And like for me, it was like 40 cents. So of course I'm like, yeah, whatever, But there was a guy in front of me that was like, it would have been like 15 cents, and he was like, no. Like firm no. I was like, whoa, all right. Like,
He hates children.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Maybe the guy doesn't have that money in his account. Maybe he's strictly budgeted enough to get himself some Panda Express, and that's it. I don't. Who knows?
You should definitely not be a Panda Express if you're worried about 15 cents.
Probably not. Yeah. But
not unless it's like somewhere you're actually trading in pandas for cash.
Yeah, I mean, pandas for cash.
Yeah. Not as successful as Cash for Gold, but
no.
I bought the website for a reason, the .com.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
One of these days,
it'll pan out eventually.
Yeah, when there's the panda boom, you'll be sitting pretty. Once pandas start actually wanting to have sex again.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully before they go extinct.
Stupid pandas.
Yeah. What's going to be left? There's going to be like one panda left, and it's going to be the horniest panda ever.
Oh my god, it's going to be fucking bamboo shoots and everything else.
And it's just going to be so sad because it's like, where were you 5 years ago?
Yeah, right.
And it's like, next thing you know, that panda's doing like Blue Chew commercials, Jesus Christ.
Like, Jesus, see that lump in his panda pants? It's crazy.
Panda pants. Oh my god. Dude, you know how over the years with podcasts, with the ads, there's always like 3 or 4 that are on like every podcast.
Oh yeah.
For a short, like it was Man Grates and
Sherry's Berries.
That was on a bunch too. Although, Bill Burr still had the best on that, but
oh yeah, for sure.
Or Purple Mattresses, or any of that kind of stuff. Caspa, yeah. So, have you like been listening to podcasts since Blue Chew has become like one of
Blue Chew's everywhere?
Oh my god, dude! I'm listening to Jim Ross last night. Good old JR.
Yeah.
And there's this guy does his podcast with him. They've changed the format to where it's now called Grillin' JR, right? And at one point they're just talking, and then they're trying to just make it part of the organic conversation, which most shows are really bad at with the ads.
Right.
And Conrad is the other host of the show, and he goes, all right, JR, you want to tell everybody what's getting you hard these days? And I'm like, what? Like, okay, I never wanted to think of JR getting randy.
What's getting you hard these days? Hey, JR, so, what gets your dick strong?
Yeah. Well, funny you mentioned that. Blue Chew. Like, fucking A. Like, oh my god. Like, I appreciate, I listen to Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling. They are sponsored by Blue Chew quite a bit. They try to have a little fun with it. You know, but it's like, oh my God, just so many of them. Or Chip Chipperson, you know, he always, you know, has fun with it, you know. But
JR seems like an interesting one, though.
I was just like, what are you doing, JR? Like, dude, you could have said no. You could have said no.
You know what doesn't have stroke face? This dick.
Fuck.
Thanks, Blue Chew.
Oh, man. Like, Blue Chew's so good, it gets both sides of my mouth up. Yeah, no, that's terrible. You know, I was just like, oh my God. Because there's just, you know how it is. Like, do you remember when Marin used to do Adam and Eve commercials, how awkward they were?
Yes.
Oh my, that's basically what it was. Because it's like, look, JR, every time he has, like, a female wrestler or a former wrestler on his show, he's like, he's mad creepy. I mean, there's just no other way to do it. Like, really? I think he sees himself as a father figure to a lot of these girls, but I also think somehow he sees himself as a daddy figure to these girls. Yeah, some of it's pretty creepy. So,
yeah, that's a little weird.
He just can't talk about them without talking about how beautiful they are, or hot they are, or whatever. And it's like, whoa, calm down. You know, like, listen.
Let me tell you, it's a real good thing I didn't take a Blue Chew right now.
Yeah, right. It's like take her down to about 10% there, Squirrely JR.
Yeah, dial it down there.
Fucking A, man. So, yeah. So, to everyone listening, you're welcome that we don't have, you know, Blue Chew as a sponsor, although, I mean...
I wish we did now.
It's so weird. Like, I'm all for it. Like, if somebody wanted us to do reads or whatever, I'd be all for it. You know, I'd be fine with it as long as it's something, whatever. It's like, I just don't know that I'd want to do one for Blue Chew. Even if I needed it or wanted it or used it, I don't know that I would necessarily be singing its praises from the rooftops, you know? Like, I think I'd just be like, well, either that or you and I would just go stupid with it, like, over the top.
That's exactly why we need it.
You're right. All right. Hit them up on Twitter, Tony. I'm sure they'll send us a couple bucks.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. Well, back to the Q of the W. What's the nicest thing you've done for somebody recently without being asked?
Show me what you got.
Booyah.
Oh, man. So, you know, in an unofficial shut up and take my money, they announced...
Well, I mean...
Shut up and take my money.
They've shown recently that there's going to be a Get Swifty Rick and Morty pop. Like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, the Rick one, he's like, you know, dropped down to one knee. And the Morty one, he comes with a tambourine. So.
I want to know if there's any UFC fighters that have gone to Get Swifty.
Probably.
I mean, I would.
Speaking of, I think there's a John Jones fight coming up here this weekend, I think.
I don't know, honestly.
Pretty soon. Yeah, because there was like a fight night last week, and that's usually the week before the pay-per-view. So.
Oh, man.
Yep. I forgot who he's fighting, though. But anyway, yeah.
Been a while since I watched some UFC.
Me too, yeah. Well, I take that back. Week or so ago, I watched like some, you know, Fox or somebody had like an old broadcast of one on. That was one of GSP's fights.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll watch this. Because I think it was one I hadn't seen, like from forever ago. So
right.
I was like, whatever.
It is.
It
what
is.
It is.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got, man. You got anything else?
That's what I got too, brother.
Oh, man. Well, I guess...
There's this one mosquito that keeps flying around this goddamn place.
If you would like to contribute to Tony's mosquito...
Yes, please.
Find us on Patreon.
Contribute violently to him.
A forearm strike. So I guess, you know, as the usual... I'll say, hey, head over to thesaltylanguage.com. It's a website that's got all the things for us on it. Links,
you don't say.
Pictures, shenanigans,
mm-hmm.
Meth Squirrels.
Oh, I wish we sold Meth Squirrels.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
That's our level of Patreon. Is just how much meth the squirrel gets before we send it to you.
Yeah. Yes. What level of meth would you like to provide a squirrel with?
Yeah. Boy.
Boy is right.
Mm-hmm. On saltylanguage.com, you can see the networks or links to networks that we're part of, like the Tangibound Network and
Danger! Watch your back! Danger!
Entertainment.
Nice.
So definitely go check those out. Probably be some other podcasts that you'll dig on there, or you won't. Whatever, it's fine. I don't care. No.
I mean, I hope you do.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Such as our pal Heno and the group, relaunching Moving the Needle.
Very cool.
Yep. Like, their newest one that was out as of this release was them revisiting Do the Right Thing to kind of see if it held up and whatnot,
Nice.
And it's good commentary by mostly white people on
right.
a movie that doesn't really affect white people.
Yeah, right.
But it was...
Wait till that bus driver gets involved.
Ugh, boy. Yikes.
Yikes is right.
Yikes. So check that out. Like I said, all our social media links are there, but if you want to contact us with a Q of the W or a topic for us to talk about or just to tell us how handsome we are, whatever, you can email us at saltylanguage@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at salty_language. You can find me on Twitter at Stunami.
You can find me at Monotony there on the Twitter machine.
Nice.
And of course, we're on Instagram, Salty Language. Wow, I just blanked out for a second there.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Well, I was like, do I do Instagram or do I do YouTube? Let me just sit here and think about it. Salty Language Pod on YouTube. And, I guess our Snapchat stuff's on the website too, if you're into that.
Yeah. I'm on Stunami or on Instagram at Stunami, I should say. Maybe I'll approve you.
Maybe.
All right. So there's all those things that you probably already knew already, but whatever. If you're still sticking around, hoping for something funny, you're out of
Good
luck.
luck,
Yeah. No. So until next time. I'm the Color Man, Big Dev. No.
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not.
Nice.
No. Stay salty, or have a beer, you'll be fine. See, I'm all thrown out of whack now. I messed myself up,
man.
All right, let's try this again. Have a beer, you'll be fine.
Stay salty, y'all.
And, I don't know, check yourself before you wreck yourself. I got nothing.
I mean, I think that's enough.
Yeah. It's some of the best advice I've ever gotten, next to wash your ass.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just good advice. No matter what time of day it is, where you're at, whatever, just be like, my ass clean? It's just a good thing to know.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Wash your ass.
Wash your ass.